Coming up on BG24 Sports, men hockey hit the ice against Clarkson this weekend. We'll go over that one.
Plus, swimming and diving started his season against Ball State. Did the ladies continue their domination in the pool?
And we'll talk about the football excitement in high school. All this and more coming up right here on BG24 Sports.
It's un-Falcon believable coverage that you won't get anywhere else. This is BG24 Sports.
Welcome to BG24 Sports. I'm Terry Lash.
And I'm Katie Warnke. Hockey continued its early season success in a road series against Clarkson. Friday, the guys took the 2-2 tie, but Saturday, the Sticks came out 5 goals for Bowling Green, giving them the 5-4 win. Now, going into the stat comparison, Clarkson really had some better overall stats, Terry.
Well, you're absolutely right, Katie. Look at those shots, 61-52. Faceoffs also swung heavily in favor of the Golden Knights, but the Falcons were able to pull out the 5-4 victory after enduring that late barrage of goals by Clarkson.
Now, Kevin Dufour has been outstanding for this team. Dufour tied for 4th in the nation in scoring, the forward getting 2 over the weekend. He's tallied 8 goals in 6 games for the Falcons. Now, Dufour has scored in every game this season so far, a strong player for the Falcons to rely on later on in some of these tougher matches they'll face. Now, Terry, we know about Kevin Dufour, some of the freshmen on this team. What are the keys to winning that this Bowling Green team is doing successfully?
Well, okay, I think you have to start on the offensive end of the ice. I think you have to start with that power play goal percentage. A little bit under 30, but that is phenomenal job by them. They're scoring 3.5 goals per game, which is great. The freshman line of Speza and Hawkins has been phenomenal. They've been limiting their penalties all season long. Only 5 penalties per game. That gives less of an opportunity for the opposing team to score on those power play goals. And you got to talk about those goalies, Katie.
Oh, absolutely. The goalies, they're a young team, actually. They can rely on these guys in the net. Tommy Burke and Thomas Scholl are both sophomores. And now we're seeing Chris Snell come up from the woodwork, too. He is a freshman. All 3 of these goalies have a save percentage of over 91%. And when you can count on guys in the back of the net like that, going up against some of these tougher offenses like Minnesota State, Ferris State, it's definitely good to have that depth in the back of the net. But now going into the upcoming games for the Falcons. BG back on home turf up against Minnesota State. The guys are here for 2 games and then they're off again, this time to Alaska. But they will be back in mid-November for a split series against the Buckeyes. Back-to-back conference play for Bowling Green coming up, a chance for them to move on up in the WCHA standings. But that is enough hockey for now. When we come back, swimming and diving kicked off the season Friday. We'll talk about the upcoming meets for the Falcons and what you can expect later on. Stay with us.
Now, welcome back. Swimming and diving hit the pool Friday in a conference meet against Ball State. The ladies carried a dominating lead over the Cardinals all night. Bowling Green took the win 196.5 to 103.5. The young swimmers on this team building a strong foundation for years to come. Freshman Estella Davis won 3 events, while sophomore Victoria Griffin carried on her work from last year in the freestyle races, taking 2. The girls were swept in diving by Ball State, but Katie, what should we expect from this new diving program this season?
Well, Terry, what we're seeing is actually pretty normal for this team. Head coach Alex Govin, he is building up this team from really nothing. Only one of the divers has experience in diving. The other 2 came from gymnastics. But he had said going up against Ball State this past weekend really gave the girls a chance to see what real competition is like. He was able to learn what his divers need to work on, and they were also able to see what MAC competition they'll be facing later on in the season. He said they're going to start adding some spins into the dives and working on some more difficult dives to increase those scores. But it is going to take some time to build up this diving team. But for now, what we're seeing is what we should be expecting from this team. But now on to volleyball. I love a little rivalry, don't you, Terry?
I love rivalry,
Oh,
Katie.
absolutely. The Falcons battling it out against Toledo Friday night. Bowling Green taking this one in 4 sets against Toledo. Freshman Nicole Slimko had 14 kills. Kelsey Bates with 8, but 4 blocks. The Falcons claiming I-75 as their own. Saturday was a little different, though. Bowling Green swept by Ball State. The Falcons are now 5-17 on the season, 2-8 in the MAC. Now, Terry, last year, the ladies were 14-16. What is it this year that's kind of keeping them down?
Well, I think it has to be the inexperience, Katie. Only 2 seniors in the roster, Erica Fullcamp and Kelsey Bates, and we've talked about that all year long. I know we've beaten it like a dead horse, but it still needs to be noted, and maybe that's why we just haven't turned the corner yet with this volleyball team.
Maybe next year, do you think we'll see some
absolutely.
success next year?
A lot of improvement, a lot of great things from this year to look forward to next year. Maybe even towards the end of the season, we'll see some of those freshmen and sophomores step up and take maybe a little bit more of a leadership role.
All right. Hopefully we see some better play next year. But now women's soccer also had an action-packed weekend. The ladies took on Western Michigan Friday. Their win streak snapped. Bowling Green unable to get the offense going. They drop game 1 2-0. Sunday the team traveled to Northern Illinois for another conference game. The Falcons duke it out with the Huskies to a scoreless tie. Bowling Green now 4-12-1 on the season. If we look ahead to what's up next for the ladies, they take on Eastern Michigan Thursday night, the last game of the year, and it's another conference match. Now, Bowling Green is out of MAC tournament talk, but still some improvements from last year when the team finished winless at 0-15-2.
And after the break is this week's inside look at a Falcon athlete, so stay with us. Welcome back. Breast Cancer Awareness Month continues at BGSU, and reporter Juan Pimiento tells us how the figure skating team is helping the cause.
BGSU continues to help in the battle against breast cancer. This time, the BGSU Figure Skating Club held its annual Skate for the Cure. Christina Baxter is the community service chair for the club. She says the event is a way for members to participate in the club's philanthropy.
This is our 3rd year doing this. We do it to raise money for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This year we're expecting up to 100 people to show up. We just raise awareness. We have pamphlets, and you can dedicate cards and names to people of loved ones.
Skate for the Cure is the club's main philanthropy event. President Katie Lodgson says the event is valuable for the club to help the community.
I think it's important to have an event like Skate for the Cure because it's important to give back to the community. That's just something to show that our club is giving back. We're not here to just skate, but we're also here to do things for other people.
Members from the university and the city participated in the event. Lodgson says it is a fun way to bring awareness about breast cancer.
Basically, we hope that people are more aware about breast cancer and breast cancer research by attending this event. It's fun, and they're giving back to the community by attending the event.
All proceeds from the event will go to the Susan G. Cumming Foundation. From the most experienced to the least experienced, everyone contributes in the battle against breast cancer. For BG24 Sports, I'm Juan Pimiento.
The team hopes to raise $1,000 this season. For information on how to donate, go to facebook.com/BGSU Figure Skating.
Now, Terry, some excitement in high school football this weekend. Bowling Green has a pretty good shot at making the playoffs this year, the first time in 14 years. What is it about the Bobcats this year, Terry?
I think with Devin Garcia back at quarterback for the Bobcats, he's really led this team to that 6-3 record they're sporting right now. It's not just that they have a shot at making the playoffs for the first time in 14 years. If they beat Napoleon this weekend, Katie, they can have a home game for the first time in over 2 decades. So that would be huge for the Bobcats.
Absolutely. And now we're going to actually turn it over to the Lima Senior Central Catholic game. Yes. What a matchup. Essentially battling for the track title. Lima Senior goes into this game at 8-0, Central Catholic at 6-2, and man, it was not even that close of a game. Lima Senior has such an explosive offense with Darius Gordon and Janelle Lyles, but when you pair that up against Central Catholic's offense with Trayvon Wade and Marcus Winters, you're asking for a good game. With the win, Central Catholic clinches a share in the track title. What do you have to say about this? What's your take on Lima Senior in this game?
Katie, I thought this was the first real chance for Lima Senior to prove that they are for real as a football team, and they failed it. I do not have high expectations for them going into the playoffs at a shot at making the state Final Four.
See, I don't know if they're going to make the Final Four, but I think that they will have a pretty good run in the playoff picture. If you look at some of the wins in the past, they've had very, very high offensive wins over some of these teams. But I guess we'll see when they get to the big game, right?
Absolutely right, Katie.
Now, when we come back, it's your BG24 Sports inside look at a Falcon athlete. Stay with us.
And welcome back. Hockey is underway, and Katie caught up with the team for this week's BG24 Sports Inside Look.
We are here
with Brandon Hawkins, freshman forward on the hockey team. We are getting to know Brandon on the ice. We're going to get to know him off the ice now, too. Are you ready for this, Brandon?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
All right. What is your favorite movie?
Wedding Crashers.
I've actually never seen that.
You haven't seen that?
No.
That's a must-see. You need it.
Is it?
You need to.
Owen Wilson, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Celebrity crush?
Between Jennifer Aniston and Mila Kunis.
You know what? Someone else told me Mila Kunis, too. I don't.
Was it Jake Darrow?
No.
That's like the love of his life.
Okay, all right. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live?
Probably between Australia and Bora Bora.
Have you ever been to any of those places?
Nope.
Who is your favorite athlete?
Brett Hull. He played on the Detroit Red Wings in 2002 Stanley Cup Finals.
All right, are you a Red Wings fan?
Absolutely.
Blue
Born and
Jackets
raised.
over here.
Born and raised in Detroit.
All right, all right. If you could pick any career, what would you pick?
Probably professional hockey player. I'd like to do what I love to do. So.
Yeah. All right. What is your favorite book or magazine?
Probably USA Hockey Magazine.
All right, I don't get that. I get Sports Illustrated. Close enough. Right?
It's nowhere near.
No.
Nowhere near.
NASCAR Illustrated?
If it's Formula One, yeah, I'm in.
Okay. Now, if you weren't playing hockey, what would you be doing right now?
Possibly playing baseball. I like baseball.
Okay. Did you play baseball in high school or anything?
Not high school. Kind of just grew up around it. My dad played and my uncle, and they were always around it. So.
Okay. And last question here. If you could go anywhere on vacation, not Bora Bora or Australia, where would you go right now?
Right now. Probably Alaska. I've never been up there, and I heard it's pretty beautiful. So.
I actually lived in Alaska, so it is. Yeah, you should go up there.
Where from?
Skagway. It's close to Juneau.
Okay. My a kid I play roller hockey with back home, his wife is from Fairbanks.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you should definitely make it up there.
All right.
But thanks for joining us, Brandon. It was great to get to know you a little bit better. We look forward to seeing you more on the ice this year.
Well, thank you.
Thanks.
Hawkins is just one of the fantastic freshmen taking the ice for BG this year. Now, when we come back, it's Around the Studio, so stay right here.
Welcome to Around the Studio. We have Juan Pimiento joining us today. Juan and Terry battling it out. They will have 45 seconds to go over a topic of my choice. Once the time is up, the round ends. I give points to the best answer, and at the end of the game, you know how it goes, I give the winner. Now, hockey is 4-1-1 so far this season. Would you rather go up against the guys' defense or offense?
I'd rather go against the defense, Katie. The defense, now not knocking them, they've been great this season. But that offense has been absolutely phenomenal, averaging 3.5 goals per game. They're giving so much support to Burke and Scholl and Nell back in the net. What do you think, Juan?
Yeah, I have to agree. It's a very balanced team, and that's a great problem to have. I mean, we're talking about top 3 in offense and defense in the league. But inexperience could be the Achilles heel for this team, and that goes back to the defense. It's going to cost them a game eventually, I think, because of the youth and the inexperience in the pressure situations. It's going to be interesting, though. It's a very good team, very balanced. The offense is really potent, so it can make up for the defense, but inexperience could end up costing them in the future.
Man, I'm going to have to give Terry these points. I agree. I think that I would rather go up against the offense. When you have Thomas Scholl in the back of the net and Chris Snell, definitely, Terry, you get those. Now, this new college playoff system will have 4 teams face off for the national title. There are still bowl games, but is the college football system set up to keep teams like Bowling Green out of the big games?
It's hard to tell because we have to wait until the first poll comes out to see what kind of a trend we have initially. The only way we can find out what the committee actually thinks is looking at the poll, see what teams, what factors come into ranking these teams. Now, it's interesting to point out that the committee represents only the 5 big conferences, ACC, SEC, Big Ten, American, and Pac-12. That could be a hint, but until I see the actual poll, I'm going to hold off on judgment.
Okay, here are the chances that anyone that's not a Power 5 conference besides Notre Dame makes it. 0. Because, like I talked to Terry Bowden before the year, the head coach of the Akron Zips, it's not set up for a mid-major conference to make those final 4 spots. They don't have the strength of schedule.
All right, Terry, again, you get those points. I think it all comes down to the strength of schedule in the conferences like the MAC and the Big East, the American Athletic Conference. They're not going to get into those big games because of that schedule. Now, the football season is coming to a close soon, but there are still some key games left. From what we have seen so far this season, who is the MAC powerhouse?
Well, there is none, Katie. There is no MAC powerhouse this season. You thought it was going to be Toledo at the beginning of the year, but they almost just lost to UMass. Maybe it's going to be Northern Illinois. They've had bad losses to Central Michigan. It has been a round robin of upset victories every single week in the MAC. MACtion has been absolutely unpredictable this season, Katie.
Yeah, but the Huskies are still on top, and the Huskies statistically still are the best team in the MAC. Now, it's going to be fun to watch come November when the Huskies play Toledo. Toledo, I think, is the biggest threat, but their defense is really suspect. It's 10th in the conference. So I would still say the Huskies, yeah, powerhouse is kind of a strong word for it because there isn't that one team that could perhaps be like the old BCS Buster type. So the Huskies, just because they're the best right now.
All right, Juan, I'm going to give you that one just because I do think there is a powerhouse in the MAC conference. I'm not sure if it's the Huskies. I think it's a toss-up between the Huskies and Toledo. Like you said, it should be a good game to watch later on. Now, men's soccer forward Pat Flynn has not scored a goal since mid-September. He's still tied for second nationally in goals with 12. Is Flynn still your go-to guy on the field?
Yeah, absolutely. In soccer, it comes down to who scores the goals because that's what wins the games. Pat Flynn, like you said, is nationally ranked in scoring goals. He makes up for about half of their scoring offense. Now, keep in mind, though, there is no Pat Flynn without midfielders who provide the assists for him. But ultimately, he's the one that puts it in the back of the net. He's the go-to guy. Look for him to be the focal point of the offense. Strikers can be streaky in soccer. So once he picks it up, he's going to be back in the game and just send him the ball. He'll put it right in for you.
Juan. What have you done for me lately, Pat Flynn? Hasn't scored since September. That's not streaky. That is absent completely from the pitch. You got to find a new target. Pat Flynn just hasn't been here for the Falcon team.
Again, Terry, you get this one. Pat Flynn, he has not scored since mid-September, even though he has half of the goals for the Falcons. If he can't score right now, then what good is he to the team? The ladies volleyball are 5-17 on the year. Will they be making the MAC tournament this year?
No, definitely not. They're 2 games out in the conference right now, but look at their upcoming schedule. They have 2 games remaining at home, and then they have 4 games on the road against teams that combine for a 30-10 record. It's going to be really difficult. They're going to have to run the gauntlet. If they come out of it and somehow make the tournament, then you can even look for them to be a surprise, but it's going to be too much. It's going to be too much to overcome for them. I don't see them making the tournament, unfortunately.
I'm going to put this as my Terry Lash pick of the week. The volleyball team is going to run the table, win those final games, and make the MAC tournament. They have a long road trip to Miami and Oxford, and then all the way to DeKalb, Illinois. Those are bonding experiences for teams. When they go through that, they get a few good victories. They're going to the MAC tourney.
All right, Juan, you get those points for sure. I don't think the volleyball team has a chance at making the tournament with their record so far. But despite the pull from behind victory there, Juan, Terry, you win this round of Around the Studio. Now, when we come back, we're going to have your recap of scores, and we'll also have our game of the week, so stay with us. Welcome back. Here is the weekend wrap-up of scores. Women's soccer dropped 1 and tied the other in a 2-game weekend series, while swim and dive opened its season with a bang, winning big over Ball State. And volleyball split the weekend with a win and a loss, and men's soccer lost to West Virginia on Saturday. Now, our game of the week has got to be hockey. The guys up against Minnesota State, a powerhouse in the WCHA. This one's a home series Friday and Saturday. Let's take a look at the matchup. Bowling Green and Minnesota State both averaging 3.5 goals per game, both equal in total goals. But the Mavericks allowing more opponent goals than Bowling Green with 3.2 per game. The Falcons just over 290 for power play goal percentage. It should be a pretty even matchup. What do the Falcons need to look for in this game, Katie? They definitely need to look for that offense and to keep the defense strong in the back of the net with Tommy Burke, Thomas Scholl, and Chris Nell for sure. Well, that is all for BG24 Sports today. Follow us on Twitter for Falcon scores and news. And check out Facebook for videos from today's show. I'm Terry Lash. And I'm Katie Warnke. Have a great night.